Hi, my name is Hayley and I'm a Specialist Support Assistant for the Communication and Interaction team. And I work and support children and young people with communication and speech and language needs and/or autism. Within this video, I would like to model ways in which we can use objects to develop children and young people's ability to make choices and requests. So generally there are three stages when we look at kind of the ability to make an informed and meaningful choice. The first one being is that we would use one object that is motivating for the child or young person, and this is to cue their interest and their attention in. So we would firstly get down to the child's level. We would show them the object and use speech alongside. So we'd say truck, kind of giving additional cues via our body language and facial expressions to make it explicit that we're offering a choice. And it's a good idea to have a variety of motivating objects. This is to encourage the child's engagement and for them to sustain that interest. So sometimes a motivating object could be referred to as a desired item. And once the child or young person is consistently responding to a desired item, so they might be reaching out or verbally requesting it, then we would look to introducing another object alongside. But typically this would be a desired item alongside an undesired item. And this is to check whether the children have the ability to make an informed choice, so they're not just taking whichever's being offered or taking it's to see if they can discriminate. And for some children, they may not understand that offering the two objects that we're expecting them to make a choice, one out of the two, so they may reach for both. And if this is the case, then we would go back to the earlier stage of just continuing to offer one desired item. But for some children, they are able to distinguish that and understand that showing two objects means we're expecting them to make a choice. But we just want to carefully kind of monitor that is a reliable and meaningful choice. So just being aware, are they always perhaps going for the first object that's being offered, or the last object, or one that's kind of presented on their right or their left? So it may be an idea to kind of change the order in which you present them. And there may be some children that appear to be echoing what they've heard. Kind of if we say book or tissue, they say book, tissue. It doesn't appear like they are able to make a choice, but it's worth just pausing, because for children they may be processing that spoken language, they may be thinking out loud. So kind of allowing 7 to 10 seconds before we expect them to kind of give us a response. Another strategy to really see if children and young people are making an informed choice would be to deliberately but sensitively give the other item that they haven't selected. And the purpose of this is really to see, are they quite passive? Are they just accepting what's being given to them, or are they refuting in some way, and really clear about the choice that they want? Of course, we wouldn't do this at every opportunity for choice, but that's going to, create a lot of frustration and stress, and it's not going to encourage the child or young person to develop their communication or interaction skills. So the final stage in the ability of making informed choices would be if the child or young person is able to make a request and choice with two motivating objects being offered. So once they're able to reliably do this, that's where we may move on to more complex kind of visual aids such as choice boards. And it's not uncommon for some children, young people, to be able to make a choice from two motivating objects at in one setting, so at home maybe, but in the school setting, you know, they're going to need a lot more time to process what is expected of them. And when we're offering choice, it's just really important to remember we're using that speech alongside, and we need to ensure that the kind of consistency of the language between settings is the same. So, you know, if this is this may be Peppa Pig that you refer to this, or book, but using that same language is going to help that child to understand what's expected of them the more, and we're labeling as we present them, so book or truck. Okay. And another strategy to kind of develop children's choice making and requests may be that we purposely place kind of some desired and motivating items out of reach to the child and young person, but in view. So visibly they can see it, so they know it's available, and they may look towards that item, they may point, gesture, sign, verbally request it, and we would immediately provide that item. So it's that cause and effect situation. Oh, I do this, so I look at it and then I get it. And that's going to encourage that choice making and to develop that voice much more. Another kind of strategy is that we may have a clear bag, a clear tub, box that is a little bit more challenging for the child to access freely. Because if they're able to access it freely, they're not going to have to communicate or interact with anybody if they can get it and access it themselves. So this is creating opportunities for communication. So even if the child was to tap the box, we would take that as a request. And for some children, in some situations, they may be able to verbally request bricks. Other environments, you know, may be more busier, they have to filter out information and they're not able to access that part of the brain where they can verbally express what they want. So we interpret their non-verbal communication. Again, we label bricks, so they're exposed to that speech. It's still being modelled for them. So I hope you found that video interesting, and hope you have lots of fun practicing. Thank you.